You have an internal GPS, but you never use it. All of the answers are inside of you, but you never listen to them. Anytime you ask it something, it will respond. It's always active. We usually just don't realize it. Those little feelings that you have, the nudges to make this decision or go this direction, to turn on this street, to talk to this person, there is a higher level of intelligence, of knowing, that operates faster than our logical brain. Tell me why, for example, and this is just a base level example that I'm sure other people have experienced too. Tell me why one night I had a feeling, I literally felt it in my gut to drive a different way, to take a different route than I normally would. I then proceeded to ignore it, went the way that I was going to go, and then the highway was closed. There was a part of me that was a step ahead, that knew the right path to take, but I ignored it. Tell me how this happens. When you start becoming aware of this communication through feeling, you notice it more. When you start paying attention to the subtleties of how we operate, of how life operates, they become louder. That is really the key to start using your intuition. Start becoming familiar with your body and how it feels in certain situations. The heart and gut have complex networks of neurons and our functioning brains in their own right. They are able to take in information, process it, store it, and then use it when needed. The problem is that today we are usually out of touch with our internal guidance system. We are primarily led by logic of the head. When we get messages from our other brains, like the gut or the heart, we process them through the head, and then they get misconstrued because maybe those messages aren't meant to be rationalized. Our society is so caught up in data, analysis, and concrete proof, and I think there is a place for that. But I think we've tipped the scale out of balance and we rely on logic and rational thinking almost too much. There is a place for planning and for organizing, and that's what the universe is always doing, always finding a balance, always searching for an equilibrium. So, if we're really getting into it, logic is known as a more masculine force, and feeling is known as a feminine force. Masculine individuals will tend to be driven more by logic, and feminine individuals will tend to lean towards intuition and feeling. However, I believe that the masculine should learn how to use their feeling side, should learn how to tap into their intuition, and I believe that the feminine should learn how to balance their logic. Learning how to balance and use both, I think, is one of the keys to life and the keys to unlock our true power, essentially. We often ignore our intuitive guidance thinking that it conflicts with rational thought. Sometimes a feeling won't be rational. There's no sense in trying to explain it because it is ahead of logic. Think about that. There are things operating behind the scenes of our life that we don't understand, that we can't explain. And that's okay. We don't always have to explain everything. And that's what intrigues me. What intrigues me is the mysteriousness of the unknown. Looking into what are the forces that we aren't aware of at a conscious level that dictate our life, that determine our outcomes. And that's basically the goal with this channel, is to bring awareness to what is commonly unseen or unthought of. And it's important to understand that your intuition is going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. So if you get an intuitive thought and it is accompanied by feelings of fear, feelings of nervousness because it's pushing you out of your comfort zone, that's okay. I have followed my intuition to make some pretty big shifts in my life. I chose to go to grad school off of a feeling. I chose to move across the country essentially off of a feeling. And if I were to explain that to my family members or friends in the moment, they'd probably think I'm crazy. But feelings don't lie. Life is always giving us little breadcrumbs trying to direct us down the right path. But we're normally just not paying attention to them because they're so subtle. And so the main thing that I did to connect with my intuition is that I started observing my body. I started actually feeling my heart, actually feeling my gut, and observing in the moment, okay, what does my gut feel like? If I have plans tonight, what does my gut think about that? Do I feel comfortable? Do I feel expansive? Or do I feel restricted? Or does my gut feel confident in the decision or the choice? Next, I started learning how to be silent. Most of us are chronically overstimulated. getting bombarded with our phones, other people's thoughts, things we have to do, and I just learned how to find silence within myself. Most of us can't even sit still for 10 minutes without some kind of stimulation. And once I started to find silence, I started to appreciate the present moment and bring my focus and attention always back to the present moment. Then I was more aware of how my body felt. And then I could make more accurate and more empowering decisions based off of that. Gain control over the information and the thoughts that you allow into your internal realm. And finally, the most powerful thing that I did to unlock my intuition was that I started finding my center. I found a point that I could always come back to that I know is me. It's not tangled up in anyone else's beliefs and opinions of me. It's a solid foundation. And I had to find that separation between myself and others. A few years ago, I realized that I couldn't find that separation. I would be subconsciously influenced by other people's opinions, other people's actions, and other people's energy. I would literally take on other people's energy without me realizing it. If someone around me was sad, I would subconsciously take on that sad energy because I had no awareness. Your center is that point of awareness within yourself that you can always return to, that is where you are secure in yourself, relaxed in the present moment, embracing your authenticity, and confident in your ability to handle anything life throws at you. So that was my quick little intro on intuition. Start becoming aware of it, and you will have even more access to it. Peace.